Welcome back to First Things First. NBA champ Antoine Walker is here with us. What's up, Antoine? Ooh, lots to break down, right? All right, let's get into it. By now, Antoine, you probably heard the NBA Finals started last night. You probably also heard the Cavs team should have perhaps won this game. With less than 5 seconds to go in regulation, J.R. Smith had a chance to win it, but basically dribbled out the clock instead. Seemed not to know the game was tied. There was some confusion over timeouts. Smith was seen mouthing to LeBron afterwards, "I thought we were ahead." Cavs go on to lose this game in overtime. Here's an exasperated Ty Lue on the end of regulation.
What did you say, or what did JR say to you in the locker room about the play at the end of regulation?
He thought it was over.
Thought it was over.
He thought we were up one.
George shot the free throw. I got the rebound. We were tied ball game. We had a timeout, and I was trying to get enough space because obviously KD was standing right there. Trying to get enough space to bring it out to maybe get a shot off, and then I looked over at Bron. He looked like he was trying to call timeout, so I just stopped, and then the game was over.
You knew you were tied. You didn't think you were leading.
No, I seen it. I knew we were tied. It's just I thought I was going to call timeout because I got the rebound. I'm pretty sure everybody didn't think I was going to shoot over KD.
Did he think that the game was tied, or did he think that you guys had it salted away?
How do I know that?
Or did you discuss it at all with him at the end of the play?
No. They asked me if I talked to JR about it. I said no already. I knew it was a tie game. We was down one. George Hill went up. He made the first one. We got the offensive rebound. You know, I thought we were all aware of what was going on. That's my view. So I don't know what JR was thinking. I don't know the question you were trying to ask.
I was just trying to see if you knew exactly what his state of mind was. Did he think that you guys had it won, or did he think he was trying to make a play? Not sure.
What do you mean I'm not sure? No, I don't know his state of mind.
Did you know if he knew the score? Thank you.
That was very frustrated LeBron James afterwards. But Antoine, I saw a little eye roll there at JR's explanation for what happened at the end of the game. What was your reaction to how that whole sequence went down?
I mean, obviously, as a player and being on the court and being in in-game situations, you know everything that's going on.
Or at least you better.
Well, the coach and everybody's you're going to know the timeouts. You're going to know the situation. So I can't give him a pass on that. He knows what's going on. And you kind of heard it in LeBron's interview. He knew what was going on. He knew the time and situation. Everybody on the floor knew that. But my problem with JR is nothing you can do about the mistake that you made. But come in the locker room, apologize to your guys, and take the blame and responsibility. And say, hey, look, my fault. I'm going to try to make up for it next game. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm with you. Go to the podium, too. You see they had to catch him outside in the tunnel where he avoided the media. Like, I'm with you. We're all grown. We're all adults. We all know what happened. We've been doing this long enough. JR, 14th year in the NBA, playing his 127th playoff game, 61st playoff start. In 4 straight finals, there is no excuse. But we all make mistakes, but let's just be a man about it because we're accountable to each other. That's what we say. This is my brother. I'm accountable to him. He's accountable to me. Right there, JR was not accountable to his teammates. So I agree with you.
And you know, it hurts LeBron James, a guy who vouched for you, who brought you in, who told him to play.
Resurrected his career. Yeah. They threw him into the trade.
And then he's been able to stay there, got him paid, and made sure they paid him. And now you go in a situation where you don't come and be accountable for it. It makes it tough. So LeBron James, T. Lue should not have to come to the podium and answer the question for you. It was my mistake. Hey, there's nothing you can do about it at this point, but try to make up for it next game. There's nothing you can do. I can't even make an excuse up for him. I want to, because you know late game situations. Every play.
Listen, there is no excuse. Anyone that's watched basketball for any amount of time in their life know what it looks like when someone is trying to dribble out the clock. That is what you do. You go as far away from the other players as possible. You loop around. And then when he looked at LeBron, when LeBron's motioning like this, he looks up at the score, looks at LeBron, and you can read his lips. I thought we were ahead. Like, that is clearly what happened. And no, I don't know why JR wouldn't tell the truth here.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, when he looked at LeBron, when LeBron hand motioned, he thought he was saying pass to George Hill. He didn't look at the score. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to, in real time, his hand motion made him look to pass.
See, I'm talking about here after the play.
Yes,
after the
absolutely.
Play. Once the play's over,
yes,
then you see him look up at the score and he says, I thought we were ahead. But the other problem with it, this isn't not knowing you don't have a foul to give at the end of the first quarter.
It's not knowing the score. It's not knowing where you are.
You got to keep in mind what had just happened, the sequence of events. Did JR not know going into the last possession of the game that they were down 1? Did he not know that George Hill had made a free throw? Like, this wasn't a complex time score situation. It was as obvious as it gets. After a free throw on a stoppage. Like, that's why, man, Van Gundy says this and he's right, man. Dumb will get you beat. And that was dumb.
And last night, dumb caught up to him.
And then, too, with JR, you got to think about it. I'm so frustrated with him. I look at the play before halftime. I know that was huge, the three-point play. Gambling on the steal, when all you got to do is stay behind the guy. Then also the play, Steph Curry, when it's tied up, he goes by J.R. Smith. He blows by him and get an and one. So you got a guy that you trust. You believe he's going to make the right play and right decision. T. Lue and LeBron James have to decide whether or not they want to have him on the floor. It's no excuse for this. It's the NBA Finals. You got to be locked in, razor focused. And you in a series where you cannot have a lot of mistakes. You almost got to play perfect basketball to beat Golden State. And they did that last night, besides for a few small mistakes.
All three of you said this yesterday when I said, what's the only way the Cavs can win? And you all said, well, they can't. You said it, CC. You can't make mistakes. I mean, that was just a huge mistake. But you made a really good point, Antoine. LeBron comes out there and time after time after time, he's trying to get the other guys involved because he knows that no matter what, this is still a team, even at his own expense, even sometimes taking points away from himself like he did at the end of regulation, hitting a cutting Jeff Green. And then for his teammate to walk into a locker room and say, or not even to come up to the podium and just say, hey, I don't know. This is what I thought happened, and that's it, and no explanation to the team.
I can't. If I'm J.R. Smith, you have to apologize to the team. It's the only way. You apologize, man up, say, I made a mistake. I'm sure this morning he's going to see enough clips and highlights and stuff to understand that he made a huge mistake and he cost his team possibly the game. I'm not going to say he cost them the series, but he cost them a huge game, and that's a game that's going to be very tough to get back. They fighting an uphill battle, so he's going to have to perform now.
We live in New York City. About 5 years ago, the back page of the New York Post is J.R. Smith forgetting the score of the game in a similar situation. Now, that was the regular season. That was obviously a less meaningful game. But to have multiple incidents as a professional basketball player where you don't know the score of the game being played, it's inexcusable. And for it to undercut what is in the discussion as the greatest playoff game, one of, if not the greatest player has ever played, I mean, that's just salt in the wound on it.
Yeah, to me, I'm not going to, when you blow a playoff game, you don't have to add anything to it. Forget who LeBron is. Man, you only got so many chances. I don't have no ring. Man, I'll break a dude's neck to try to get me a ring. And if a dude would lose a game, like, you don't, man, it's bigger than the other people. Man, the accountability and the reason why you play team sports, because I can count on this guy. And this is what fans forgot last night. Man, it's pressure. Because you guys think JR didn't know. I believe JR knew. Because I've seen guys come out of a timeout. Coach called the play, everything, how many timeouts, we go over every situation. And in the moment, they freeze.
Panic.
And that is the pressure of playing competitive sports at a high level.
See, he knows. At this point in the season, I would say even the last 2 months of the season, all you practice on is late game situations to get you ready for the playoffs. You talk about it, you look at time and score to understand every situation that's going on. He knew it was a mistake, and he didn't own up to it. And it's unfortunate that he wasn't man enough to do that for a guy that they trust, LeBron trusts, and believes in. You got to come in and apologize to your team and coaches that you made a mistake and try to move on from it.
How important was game one for the Cavs? How important is that first game, and what does this do for them now?
Well, I said this yesterday. I thought it was the one game you're going to steal. It was game one. I thought LeBron James was going to have to play 45, 48 minutes. He was going to come close to scoring 50 points. I did not know Kevin Love was going to play. We did not know that at that time. And then he get a double-double effort from him. He plays great. And he did everything possible. LeBron James, what I loved about last night, he made the right play. Even when they missed,
Early
he made the
and
right
late.
play.
Well, and I don't want this. There's two parts of this play I don't want to be overlooked. One is how it started, which is LeBron has 49 points. He'd never had a 50-point playoff game. He's already made 2 game winners in the playoffs. They're down 1. He has the opportunity to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. He sees, as C pointed out, the lanes, they've got 4 guys in the lane.
4 guys in the foot with a foot in the lane.
And then sees George Hill, Klay Thompson fall asleep for a minute. George Hill cuts to the basket, and he trusts his teammate. And then the other part of it, and I just want your opinion on this real quick, how does JR even get that rebound over Kevin Durant? How does Kevin Durant not blocking out in that situation, a guy 7 inches shorter than him?
I don't know. I think obviously if Durant, if they make the right play, we'll be criticizing Durant right now. And
Durant
we all
fell
know
asleep.
him. Oh, he
Got
did
pushed
fall
underneath
asleep.
the rim.
I think he thought George Hill was going to make it, 80% free throw shooter. They're going to call timeout and lack of focus.
All right, we're going to break down much more from this game. That's next. Stick around. First things first.